connection is just fine. Morning, folks. I don't know what is going on with this thing this morning. Let's try this out. Morning, folks. Morning, all. Don't know what's going on Facebook this morning. Okay. Morning, Roxanne. Rookman, morning to you. I need to switch. Gerald, Pascal, Manswell, morning, sir. Morning, Carol. Denise Bramble, morning, Rena Jennings, morning, Rena. Margaret Thomas, morning to you. Wazid, morning. Neil Francois, always present, morning, sir. Jenny Hubert, morning to you. J Dimple 66. Arlene Lewis, morning, Arlene. Claire Carrington, morning, Claire. Gertrude, morning, Deborah Duranty, morning, Deborah. Still live. Okay. Thank you so much for my brooms, Roxanne. Emerson Brown, good morning to you. See who I have on Facebook. Morning, Diane. John Edwards, morning. Terry Moore, morning to you. There's Deborah on Facebook and YouTube. So thank you for tuning into both platforms, Deborah. Let's see. $1 Million Man, morning, Natalie F. Morning to you, John Cato. Morning, guys. Carol Myers, morning, Carol. Nigel O'Connor, morning to His Excellency President of Pleasantville, First Lady Mauricia Keegan. Alison Samuel, morning, Alison. Judy Bowen, morning to you, Judy. Joycelyn Small White, morning, Joycelyn. Yes, Carol, the weather looking a little good today. Today's another busy day for me because, as I told you, I'm traveling tomorrow. Next couple of weeks are going to be hectic because I'm traveling to Dominica tomorrow. I'll be there until next Friday, and then come back Friday night, and then Sunday I leave again. Another trip. So yeah, and then I'll be back on the 13th of May. So see we have here. But I'll see how I could fit in my lives over the course of the next 3 weeks it is. Yeah, so once the opportunity presents itself, we will we'll do what we need to do. So I guess a lot of people weren't aware that I'd be on this morning. I don't usually like to come on when Sharon is on Titans of Democracy because I don't want to cut into her her viewership. Speaking of which, I listened yesterday briefly to Juliet's program. I was able to take in the tail end because one of the things I had to do yesterday was to take my car to service. So I wasn't in my car, and I just picked it up and I just switched to 91.9 to catch the end of Juliet's Sure. So I saw the gist of what I heard the gist of what she was talking about was this clip of Professor Misinformation making some rather disparaging remarks with respect to what he refers to as PNM freaks and that they should dead. Um, and there were a number of persons who would have called in, indicating or expressing their disappointment in the individual. I don't know. He's just a colossal disappointment all around. The persons would have reminded him of the fact that when he needed blood for whatever ailment, and Sharon would have put out to borrow a term from Mr. Tabaki, the clarion call. It was the same PNM freaks who he now cussing, who would have gone and given blood, take time. Normally when people need blood, you had to beg and beg and beg. Well, I understand in his case, they had to come and beg people, okay, enough, we don't need any more. Thank you all so much. But, ingratitude is worse than witchcraft. But you have supporters of that party who will come here to tell me about I singing for my supper. So what are you doing? What are you doing? When it is that you could turn on people who would have come to you in your time of need and make statements like that. Just like the rest of them, you're auditioning for what? For the political leader of that party? Or for the hierarchy of that party to notice you and say, come here, give you a position if we get into office. That's what you're doing. Well, to each his own. If you have no integrity and you want to praise and rate up, well, hey, you do what you had to do. I go tell you. I ain't not doing that. I used to always tell Mr. Warner while I was in the ILP, the day you all decide you want to team up with the UNC, I gone. No questions asked, and that's it. Not interested. All I could offer what? I'm not interested. I'm not selling my soul for 2 pieces of silver. I ain't saying 30, 2 pieces of silver. Yeah? So, Roxanne says he would get a co-set to clean the toilet. It's so true. And he would do it happily, Roxanne. Happily. To say, look, you see? They give me something to do. Idiots. I don't know. I really don't know what to say with these people. But yeah, the owner of the radio station encouraging them. They continue to prop them up because you move them from 1 day a Saturday and give them 5 days a week. Thank goodness you had the sense to at least pull back the Saturday so people wouldn't have to go through that torture 6 days a week. But nevertheless. So I see in today's Express, and again, I'm reminded as to why the Prime Minister had to. What's going on? What trouble is this? God damn. Why the Prime Minister had to chastise the media as he did. Because this whole situation with the death of these babies is now reaching, to my mind, ridiculous proportions, right? It's almost as if, I don't know if the media is in league with the law firm that is representing persons whose babies would have died, or if they're just looking for a story and they feel they need to give this thing legs and keep dragging it out without consideration for the image that they're creating of the health sector in this country, regionally and internationally. We know the citizens have their views on the health sector in the country. Everybody who has a bad experience when they go to a hospital or a health center, we hear a lot about that. But when persons go and they have positive experiences from start to end, we don't hear too much about those. So they go to the hospital, they're treated well, they come out good. The outpatient clinic, they go, no problems, no issues. They get in there, the prescriptions filled. We hear nothing about that. They don't come on the news and say, well, I went and I had a very, very good experience and I want to. Hardly. Once in a blue moon. You might, and not even that often, you would hear these persons come out. But a bad experience? Yes. Let me go to the first media house I could find and complain. Same thing with the roads. In the situation with the roads in the country. We burning tire, we protesting, bad roads. Johansson and must go. Rowley must go. And then they come and they fix the roads. And it's the best roads you've ever had since you've been living in that area. Some are only living there your whole life. You're drawing pension. So for your whole life, you never see the road look so good. You feel like coming to call back the same media house that they called to come and see. Look at the condition of the road. And we burning tire and we protesting and we fed up. But when the road's fixed now, pristine, you're driving and it feeling like you're in the air. You think they're calling back the media house. You say, come and see what the minister has done. Come and see what the government has done. Come and see how quickly they responded and the roads are in great condition. Feel like doing that? No. You know what I say? Why we had to praise them for doing their work. That's what they're supposed to do. That's what they're there for. That's what we vote for. So why we had to praise them? Okay. But Kamla lay 1 kilometer pipe, and for that you all figure she deserve the highest award. Anyway, so coming back to the issue, headline in the Express today, baby death claims rise to 16. We move from the sublime to the ridiculous. Let me get this here. Now again, I don't want to trivialize the pain, the anguish that any family, any couple would have gone through with respect to the loss of their baby, right? I don't know what that experience is, and I hope never to have that experience. But Anna Ram Logan, again, and you see, these people are vultures preying on the unfortunate circumstances of some of these families. Let me just read this quickly. This is a Guardian article posted 7 hours ago. Mova couple reveals death of baby at Port of Spain General NICU. We didn't think anybody would believe us, so that's why they didn't come forward, right? A Mova couple whose first child died at Port of Spain General Hospital's neonatal ICU on Christmas Eve last year believes their baby's death should have alerted health officials that something was wrong at the unit, preventing further loss of life. So between Christmas Eve last year and the majority of babies would have died in April, and they said there were 1 or 2 instances between February to April. So between Christmas Eve and the whole of January, there were no reports of any, other than this couple, no reports of any. So listening to these people, you would get the distinct impression that you can't have an infection at all at the NICU, right? So it can't be a situation where one baby could develop an infection that has nothing to do with necessarily an outbreak in the ward. So from the time a baby dies from an infection, if you listen to these people where they go in with this nonsense, it had to be they contracted it on the ward. So it had to be the ward infected, something wrong with the ward. But I am certain there were other babies beside theirs, and again, I don't want to trivialize